Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor, where we're going to be talking about my vintage science fiction project once again. Yes, my vintage science fiction project, which has hit some delays. This month it's because of the big book of the Continental Op, so don't blame me, blame Dashiell Hammett. So that's taken up a lot of my time this month. Next month I'm reading Varney the Vampire, the entire Penny Dreadful run of Varney the Vampire, and that's a lot of Varney. So next month is looking like it's booked. I mean, maybe, I could just spend a couple days next month just reading Varney the Vampire from morning to night, all day long, and maybe I'll get through it quicker that way. I will go insane, but maybe I'll get through it quicker. I don't know. But after that, in November, I can hit my science fiction project, my vintage science fiction project, a lot harder, and I'm looking forward to that because I really want to read all this stuff. That's the whole point of it. What is my vintage science fiction project anyway? If you've missed some of my fantastic videos, which is hard to believe, but basically it's just, can I read all of the vintage science fiction books that I own before I die? The lady of the manor pointed out, erroneously I believe, that I can't possibly read all the vintage science fiction that I've been collecting before I die. And so I said, sure I can. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. I got to read it all before I croak. Because down below Vaughan Manor, below the lowest cellar in Vaughan Manor, is the vault of ancient science fiction. And in that vault are boxes and boxes and boxes of vintage science fiction, old moldering science fiction books. Boxes of them. Can I read them all? Not if Roger keeps buying more of them. Hey, Roger, you got to stop buying all these science fiction books, because if you keep buying them, I'll never finish reading them. I mean, it just goes to figure. You see, the thing is, Roger over here, he's got a real problem buying books. I mean, he's amassed all of this gold and treasure over 10,000 years. And now, in his old mummyhood, he's got nothing better to do than to lurch into bookstores and buy books. So I've told him, if he keeps it up, I'll never finish. So we're going to fill up one more box. We've got one more box, and then that's it, cutting it off. And it already has some books in there. You can see there's some books in there in this box. This is the last box, the last one. But today we're going to be talking about the first box. The first box in my vintage science fiction project that I'll be going through. That is this box. It's not this large. It looks larger on the screen now, but it's actually not that big. But there are a lot of books in here, and these are all the books that I'm going to be reading. So let's open up the box and just go through them. Let's go through the first box, and you've seen some of these before if you watch my channel, but we'll go through them just so you know and I know. My dog is running away. Where are you going, Pumps? You don't want to hang out for the video? No, she doesn't. So let's go through all the books in this box and see what I'm going to read. There are a couple books in here that I've already read. I've already read Maza of the Moon by Otis Adelbert Klein. That was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun, though. This is the second book that I read for the project. Valley of the Flame by Henry Kuttner. That was awesome. So I already read those. But the next book I'm going to read for the project is this Ace Double. This is The Search for Zai by L. Sprague de Camp. You flip it over, and it's The Hand of Zai by L. Sprague de Camp. So it's an old Ace Double. Going to read this one next. But that leaves a bunch of books in this box still to be read. So let's go through it and just take a look at what I've got coming up. And I have no idea how long it's going to take just to read this one box, let alone all the boxes I have. I figure by the time I'm 85, I should be done. I'm hoping. Maybe. Yeah, but let's take a look. First of all, we've got Giants Unleashed by Groff Conklin. This is a science fiction anthology. Groff Conklin, back in the day, put out all of these cool science fiction anthologies. And so Giants Unleashed is one of them. 12 unforgettable science fiction stories. They're unforgettable. All these awesome dudes. And they are all dudes, aren't they? I think they are. Yeah, all men. Vintage science fiction, man. So, Giants Unleashed. That's the first one. Then there is another ace double. This is Destiny's Orbit. Destiny's Orbit. You flip it over, and it's who did Destiny's Orbit? David Grinnell. You flip it over, and it's Times Without Number by John Brunner. There's a lot of John Brunner in my vintage science fiction collection. Then I've got Earthblood by Keith Laumer and Rosal George Brown. Earthblood. Then this is going to be fun to revisit. The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester. Basically, one of my rules for this is there are obviously lots of books in here that I've read already, of course. So if I've read it within the last 5 years, I have the option to not read it. It's been over 5 years, I think, for The Demolished Man, and I would read it anyway because it's such an awesome book. And look at that awesome cover. This is a great version of The Demolished Man. There's Alfred Bester looking all badass. Look at me. I'm badass Alfred Bester with his cool little beard. Yeah, so The Demolished Man, that's going to be awesome. Then we've got another classic, Alas, Babylon. Another one I haven't read for a long time by Pat Frank. Alas, Babylon. I'm pretty sure I read that years ago. I'm pretty sure. We'll see. Then we've got Revolt in 2100. Revolt in 2100. So, we know when the revolt's going to happen. This is by Robert Heinlein. So that's coming up. This one I'm really looking forward to. This one I've never read at all. This is The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin. Ursula K. Le Guin is awesome. And so this is something I'm looking forward to. Then we've got the Micronauts duology. The Micronauts, yes. This is the Micronauts. The Micronauts by Gordon Williams. All these Micronauts that got real small. A novel of the ultimate frontier. The most fantastic adventure of any century. So the Micronauts by Gordon Williams, which has a sequel, The Micro Colony by Gordon Williams. I don't know if Gordon Williams ever did any others because I haven't read these books and I really don't know much about them. We'll see. Then we've got a John Christopher novel. I like John Christopher. This is The Long Winter by John Christopher. So this is going to be cool to get to, The Long Winter. Then it's Shirley Jackson. What's Shirley Jackson doing in here? I don't know. She's in here, though, with The Sundial. Shirley Jackson with The Sundial. A chilling, suspenseful, blood-curdling, and macabre novel of 12 people awaiting the end of the world in a fantastical house like no other on Earth. So this could just be a fantasy, horror, or science fiction. I don't know what it is because I've never read The Sundial. It's one of hers I've never read. So here it is, The Sundial, with this really cool, creepy old cover. That's going to be awesome. Then we've got Arthur C. Clarke, Time Probe, The Sciences and Science Fiction. This is an anthology with more dudes, more guys in this book. Heinlein, Leinster, Silverberg, Asimov, the usual suspects are in here. Then we've got High Vacuum. This is High Vacuum by Charles Eric Maine. It Could Happen, a taut, authentic tale of tomorrow's headlines. So I don't know what High Vacuum is about, but here it is. We will find out when I read all the books in this box. Okay, then I've got some others in here. This is World Maker by Terry Bisson. This is a timescape book. World Maker. Terrell Bisson. I don't think Terrell Bisson can spell, but, you know, we have this book, and I have no idea what it's about, and I'm going to read it one of these days. Then we've got Robert Sheckley. Robert Sheckley, The Status Civilization. Robert Sheckley, The Status Civilization. That looks interesting. Then we have, this looks like fantasy, but it's labeled science fiction from Ace. This is Silverlock. Silverlock by John Myers Myers. It's John Myers Myers. John Myers Myers. Silverlock. There he is. So that's going to be interesting. Silverlock. Then we've got more John Brunner. I told you there was more of them in here. This is The Day of the Star Cities. It's the day of the Star Cities. There's lots of stuff in this box. Then we've got John Brunner, The Polymath. The Polymath from John Brunner. More John Brunner. This is not John Brunner. This is The Quay Effect, or The Quay Effect, or The Quay Effect. I'm not sure which. From Arthur Sellings. Arthur Sellings wrote this. Another cool vintagey cover, man. There are some cool covers in here. This is an interesting looking one. This is The Mayflies by Kevin O'Donnell Jr. I showed this before when I opened the package that it came in, and some people recognized it and said that they read it, but I haven't heard of it before. So there's that. That's going to be cool. Then we've got another Ace double lurking in here. This is Behold the Stars by Kenneth Bulmer. Behold the Stars. You flip it over, and it's Planetary Agent X by Mac Reynolds. That there is Planetary Agent X. There he is. He's Planetary Agent X. He's in there, hanging out. Then we've got The Productions of Time by John Brunner. Lots of John Brunner in here. The Productions of Time. That's an interesting cover for The Productions of Time. Then we've got another anthology. This is Alpha 5. Alpha 5. Alpha 5. Edited by Robert Silverberg. Oh, I bet it's full of men. Let's see. Oh no, Kate Wilhelm's in here. Kate Wilhelm. Yay. Otherwise, yeah, a bunch of dudes. But they're good dudes. They got Fritz Leibers in here, Theodore Sturgeon, Samuel R. Delaney. So this looks like a good one. Then we have New Writings in SF2. It's the sequel to New Writings. This is New Writings in SF2. They are no longer new writings. These are old writings in SF, edited by John Carroll. And yeah, so there's some new writings there that are no longer new. And this one, yeah, Shadowlight by Jackie Hyman is in this initial box. The first box I've got, Shadowlight is in there. So yeah, whee, Shadowlight, look at me. I've got some shadows on my book. Only professional booktube stuff going on over here. Shadowlight. And then we've got this one, which I'm really looking forward to. This is The Midwich Cuckoos by John Wyndham, that somehow I have not read. How the hell have I not read that book? I don't know. But I do also have Adventures on Other Planets. That looks like fun. This is Adventures on Other Planets with a bunch of guys. So Adventures on Other Planets. Adventures on Other Planets. That looks awesome. Then, this one looks interesting from Fritz Leiber. It's the Silver Eggheads. Look at them. They're the egg. This is the Silver Eggheads. It's actually a novel. This novel is a riotous satire on the writing publishing world. That's what this is. Yeah. The Silver Eggheads. Okay. Then we've got another Groff Conklin anthology. These are always awesome. This is Thinking Machines. 12 astonishing and prophetic stories selected from science fiction. Yeah. It just says selected from science fiction. Thinking Machines. It doesn't tell you where they're selected from. Anyway. Cool old cover. Another Groff Conklin anthology. It's going to be awesome because his anthologies always are. Then we have The Corridors of Time. There's lots of stuff in this box, I told you. The Corridors of Time, the astonishing new novel by Paul Anderson. The Corridors of Time. That looks way cool. But wait, there's more. There's So Close to Home. So Close to Home by James Blish. That's in this initial volume. I've shown this book a few times for various reasons, but So Close to Home. So Close by James Blish. And we've got A for Andromeda by Fred Hoyle and John Elliott, a science fiction thriller that says, "Be careful, Earth. Be careful." A for Andromeda. That looks like it's going to be fun. Then we've got The Bloody Sun by Marion Zimmer Bradley. The Bloody Sun by Marion Zimmer Bradley is in here. So I will read that and try not to think much about Mary Zimmer Bradley while I'm doing it. And then this is The Trouble on Titan by Alan E. Norse. The Trouble on Titan by Alan E. Norse. Then it goes on. We've got A Gift from Earth. A Gift from Earth by Larry Niven. It's a gift from Earth. Then we've got the best from science fiction and the best from fantasy and science fiction, 11th series, the best from fantasy and science fiction, edited by Robert P. Mills. And Evelyn E. Smith is in here. Okay, female science fiction writer is in here. Evelyn E. Smith and Jodie Scott. Who I'm assuming is a female science fiction writer. I don't know much about Jodie Scott. So there you go. And John Barry, Charles G. Finney, John Anthony West, Paul Anderson, Isaac Asimov, Clifford D. Smack. Lots of cool people in here. So there you go. Then we've got another ace double. This is Mankind Under the Leash. Mankind Under the Leash, man. That's not any fun, especially with this dude with his axe. Maybe he's a firefighter. I don't know. This is Thomas M. Dish, Mankind Under the Leash. You flip that over, and we've got Planet of Exile by Ursula K. Le Guin. So that is pretty cool. Then we've got a John Christopher book, another John Christopher, The Ragged Edge. The Ragged Edge by John Christopher. This one I'm looking forward to quite a bit. And this one I've intended to read before now, but it got stuck in this box. So I will read it in the first box I have. It's Master of the World, including Rober the Conqueror by Jules Verne. And, you know, yeah, there's Rober. Like, what the hell are you doing on my airship? Jules Verne's Master of the World. And so this was obviously made into a film, which I have not seen, and it's a book I have not read. A Jules Verne book I haven't read, so that's exciting. That's exciting. Then we have Bypass to Otherness by Henry Kuttner. Bypass to Otherness. And then we've got Tunnel in the Sky by Robert A. Heinlein. Tunnel in the Sky by Robert A. Heinlein. Then you've got Eric Frank Russell's Somewhere a Voice. Somewhere a Voice by Eric Frank Russell. Somewhere a Voice. Zena Henderson, Creator of the People, Holding Wonder by Zena Henderson. Holding Wonder with this creepy ass kid on the cover. It's a creepy ass kid book, perhaps. And then we've got H. Warner Munn's King of the World's Edge. H. Warner Munn's King of the World's Edge with some Lovecraftian looking beasties swimming down there. King of the World's Edge. Then we've got another Heinlein. This is Red Planet by Heinlein. I have a bunch of copies of this, I think. I think every box has a copy of Red Planet, possibly. I have to go through and see. But Red Planet by Heinlein. Robert A. Heinlein. Three more left. We've got The Space Hounds of IPC by Edward E. Smith. That's the Space Hound there. There he is. The Space Hounds from IPC is in here. So I'll finally be getting to that. A lot of these came from the same box. Then we've got Edmund Hamilton's City at the World's Edge, which I remember being a very entertaining book, but it's been at least 8 or 9 years since I've read that, so I'm due. And of course, there's this next one, the ever popular Sue Spaceman by Andre Norton. The Sue Spaceman by Andre Norton with that glorious cover, which is just so awesome. What a way to end this box. So now, that's it. That's everything in here. That is the first box I will be going through. It'll probably be quite some time before I go through show you the next one, because who knows how long it'll take to read all of these, but you'll hear all about them. I'll talk about them as I go through them. Okay, guys, that's it from me and Roger today. We will catch you next time.